you're translating a mind at home with itself for your friends. And I thought it might be appropriate for Stephen just to say a little about what that process is and why reading it slowly and meditating on what you say of the book slowly is a very powerful experience.
Yeah, 那个凯蒂说，因为凯蒂知道说，我现在有在喜马拉雅上跟大家介绍这本书，那我们要请 Stephen 来跟我们分享一下他写这本书的一些过程，并且就说怎么样慢慢念这本书才会有最大的受益。Stephen.
This new book is organized around the Diamond Sutra. There's a chapter, a short chapter, and then Katie comments and illuminates that chapter as we go along. The reason I chose the Diamond Sutra as a place for Katie to comment on is that it's one of the most profound ancient texts that we have. It's profound, but it's difficult, and I wanted to create a version that would be accessible to everybody, to a modern audience. And it's interesting for a Chinese audience in particular because the Diamond Sutra has great importance in the history of Chinese spiritual practice. It was the most important text in the tradition of Chan Buddhism. And that was partly because there's an old story about one of the great Chan masters called Huineng. He was the sixth patriarch of Chan Buddhism. And the story goes this way. When he was a very young man, he was illiterate. He did not know how to read, and he was a woodcutter. So one day, as he was delivering wood at a shop in town, there was a monk sitting in front of the store that he was delivering wood at, and the monk was chanting the Diamond Sutra. And as the monk chanted one verse from the Diamond Sutra, the verse said, "Develop a mind that abides nowhere." In other words, develop a mind that is not attached to any thought that it thinks. So as soon as he heard this verse, his mind had a major opening experience, and he attained what the Buddhists call enlightenment or awakening. So this is an amazing thing. One short sentence caused this young man's mind to open up, and the joy that he felt, the peace of heart that he felt was beyond description. So the truths that the Diamond Sutra provides are very practical. They can change our lives. But they're difficult for some people, and this is why I asked Katie to make it clear and simple, and this is, to my mind, this is what the book does. Now, she has never studied Buddhism, never read anything about Buddhism, but the experience that the work allowed her to enter, the depth of experience, is very similar to what the old masters of Buddhism and the Buddha himself experienced. So that's why it's so helpful.
Thank you.
And in my experience, I didn't have words like enlightenment or any term that would come with a spiritual practice. My life just felt like suffering. And then in a moment, it's not that I heard something that we would call like the Diamond Sutra. I just saw how all suffering was created, and my life shifted from suffering to free. And in that freedom, the absence of pain, a very beautiful life. I was transformed. I was just flipped upside down, this mind, and in that, my entire life. And if it weren't for Stephen and this book would never be accomplished. And I love that you're passing on this beautiful combination of literature that we hope serves people in a way that maybe no other book could. Yeah.
So the last question, I know people, all the Chinese-speaking people, especially those in Asia, they are wondering, will you ever consider coming to Asia and hold a night school or other events?
We, at thework.com, there's a place where people can invite me, and I look at each of those and I consider them, and if there are translators, that nothing's impossible, and these beautiful people that you yourself are aware of that move the work would staff the school and be there to support it. All things possible.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.